So this is the 4th South African National Sitting Volleyball Club Championships, and teams come from across the country down here to play. Every year we rotate the tournament between different provinces. Last year it was in Limpopo, this year it's in the Western Cape. So ParaVolley is the physically impaired version of regular indoor volleyball. You still have 6 players aside. You're playing on an indoor court. The court is exactly the same except a little bit smaller and the net is lower. So people can still reach up and block, they can still spike. The rules are very, very similar, 3 touches aside. Probably the only difference is in terms of the rules that are significant is that you're allowed to block a serve. Yeah, so up to national level, it's fully inclusive, anyone can play. Able-bodied, physically impaired, male, female, any age group. And you see a big diversity in the teams, all sorts of people are busy playing. Interestingly, if you're physically impaired and you've lost a limb, for instance, you might actually be quicker on the court because you've got less weight to move around, so you might have a slight advantage over able-bodied players.
So despite it being a disabled or physically impaired athlete sport, it allows for able-bodied players to join and to enjoy the sport together on a national level. It is just to allow integration, so anybody can play the sport. And once you're seated on the floor, everyone is becoming equal at some point, because you take the impairments of the legs basically away if you're seated, and that's why anybody can play.
We've been playing for 4 years now, national champs against each other, so we all know each other. There's new players coming through as well, so there are some new players, but most of them know each other, and there's rivalry and competitive rivalry and fun, and everyone does the sport because they enjoy it, So to come to competition like this and be able to show your best and compete is what everyone loves, and you can see it on the court. Everyone's happy and showing off and doing their thing,
Come! Up!
Well, sitting volleyball in South Africa is quite new. We've only introduced sitting volleyball to South Africa in 2014, so we are still in our infant years, so to speak, and still growing. Currently we are playing the sport in 2 provinces in South Africa, so there's the Western Cape and Limpopo, starting to grow the sport now in KwaZulu-Natal. We've got about 8 or 9 adult teams and a couple of youth programs happening in the Western Cape, but we're very much still in the early years of the sport development. In terms of international competitions, South Africa has taken part in 2 Southern African championships and once in the African championships.
We've got 2 main goals we're building for the sport. One is to be the most athletes participating in the sport in South Africa within a parasport. And then secondly, to be able to compete and win medals at the Africa Championships for both a men's team and a women's team. And we have a men's team going to the Africa Championships in September in Rwanda this year. And we're busy, we've got a number of training camps set up. In fact, one is straight after this national champs. It's an 11-day camp where the top players are coming in, and we've got strength and conditioning programs, multiple coaching programs, physio, etc. to prepare the team and build them up in preparation for the African champs.
So sitting volleyball is a growing sport in South Africa, and it's the first time that us as physiotherapists have had an opportunity to work with the teams. So some of the injuries that we've encountered already relate to the fact that the players are sitting. Some contusions, some abrasions, definitely upper limb injuries. We've had some soft tissue injuries of the wrists, of the elbows, and some shoulder injuries, being an overhead sport that volleyball is.
Serves up. 3 touches, the ball's over. And a smash to win the point.
We are fortunate enough to be able to deal with most disabilities, yes, but more than that, the athletes have been able to overcome this and participate freely in a sport that doesn't limit them. So we work with what the athletes are presenting with to enhance their performance and just allow them the longevity of being able to play sitting volleyball.
I would like sitting volleyball in South Africa to be the biggest participating para sport in the country, and I would like to have both a men's team and a women's team medal at African Championships. That would be my minimum requirements, and then we push from there. So then perhaps get golds and compete at world champs and other things like that as well.